There was once a boy named Ethan who lived in a small town. He was known for his intelligence and sharp thinking. His teachers admired him, and his parents believed he had a bright future. But despite his talents, Ethan had a big weakness. He did not use his time wisely. Instead of studying, he spent his days playing video games, chatting with friends, and scrolling through his phone for hours. He always believed there was plenty of time, convincing himself that he could study later and that enjoying life was more important. His parents often reminded him about the value of time, but he never took their advice seriously. Then came the day when the annual exam results were announced. For the first time, Ethan scored far below average. The teachers who once praised him now looked at him with disappointment. His friends, who used to admire his intelligence, slowly started distancing themselves. When he reached home, he saw his parents holding his report card, their faces filled with disappointment. It was a moment that hit him hard. He had always thought he had time, but now, he was facing the consequences of wasting it. That night, unable to sleep, he sat alone, reflecting on his failure. He knew he had the potential to do well, but he had let distractions take control of his life. For the first time, he questioned his choices and wondered if he had wasted something he could never get back. There is an old story of a great king named Victor who had everything: wealth, power, and a grand kingdom. But just like Ethan, he had one major flaw: he wasted his time. Instead of focusing on ruling his kingdom wisely, he spent his days in leisure, delaying important decisions and telling himself that there was always tomorrow. One day, a wise sage visited the king's court and warned him that time was the most valuable treasure of all. The sage explained that a person could regain lost money or power, but lost time could never be recovered. But the king, confident in his position, laughed at the warning. He believed that because he was strong and wealthy, time would always be on his side. Years passed, and the king continued wasting his days on meaningless things. Slowly, his kingdom began to decline. His soldiers lost battles, his people lost faith in him, and his health started to fail. When he finally realized his mistake, it was too late. He searched for the sage to ask for guidance, but the sage was nowhere to be found. No amount of wealth could buy back the years he had lost. He had taken time for granted, and in the end, it left him with nothing but regret. Hearing this story made Ethan realize the truth. Time is the greatest asset a person has, but it is also the easiest to lose. It became clear that intelligence and talent mean nothing if time is wasted. Success does not come from what someone can do, but from what they actually do with the time they have. Determined to change, he decided to take control of his life. The next morning, instead of waking up late, he got up early and created a study plan. He reduced his screen time, cut down on distractions, and focused on self-discipline.
It was not easy at first.
The temptation to go back to old habits was strong, but he reminded himself that every hour wasted was an opportunity lost forever. As days turned into weeks, he started seeing changes. His concentration improved, his knowledge grew, and he became more confident. When the next exams came, he was prepared. This time, his results were outstanding. He had gone from failure to success, not because he was smarter, but because he had learned how to use his time wisely. Years later, Ethan became a successful entrepreneur. People admired his achievements, but only he knew the real secret behind his success. It was not luck or intelligence, it was time management. He had learned that success does not come from having more time, but from using time wisely. Time is the most valuable resource in life. It is the one thing that cannot be bought, paused, or reversed. Every second is an opportunity to move forward or fall behind. Those who waste it live with regret. Those who use it wisely create a future they are proud of. The choice is simple: control time, or let time control you. What will you choose?